Hey everybody, Jem Schofield here with the C47 and another episode of Gearbox. I am currently in Oregon, in wine country, surrounded by vineyards, and I am here doing a 2-week film camp. I did one last year on documentary, and this year I'm doing one on narrative. And Friday, I had the whole group, about 11 or 12 kids, wind picking up a little bit here, so you guys are going to hear that. About 10 or 11 kids get thrown into shooting a scene and seeing them crash and burn at everything that had to be done. I mean, we spent the first few days talking about the different hats, breaking down how scenes are shot and everything else. And once they got into a real-world situation, it was just really interesting to see how those dynamics worked out in a collaborative environment with them not really being used to doing that. Both some kids being actors, so being cast, some of them being crew, and just seeing how they delegated from director down to DP to gaffer, key grip, and all of the other people who were on the crew. And so on Monday, they're going to redo it and see if they can get to the point where we actually get a shot off. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I have been here sort of testing a lot of things, testing the firmware update, actually just before I left on the C100, which has autofocus capabilities, which may not be as robust as something like the 70D, which is a new redesigned sensor system for, in many ways, that purpose, but still pretty cool. This is the Samurai Blade, and I've been testing this with the Connect from ATOMOS, which is very, very cool because I didn't really realize this until I took everything out and put it together. It just sits right here on the blade in one of the battery bays, and then the battery sits on here. It's powering this, and then I also have another battery on here. This is letting me do an HDMI to HDSDI, so I can use the blade, and it is considerably more upgraded than the Ninja 2. It has full scopes on here. Sorry about the wind, guys. It has zebras. It has basically all of the focus assist features that you'd want, and very, very cool implementation of that. Has a vector scope, and it's really nice because you can activate these things, you can change their opacities, you can move them around on the screen as far as them being on the right hand side, with them being on the bottom of the screen, all kinds of stuff. So there's your waveform monitor. I'll press it again, it goes on the bottom of the screen, press it again, it goes full screen. We can do that with vector scope. There are RGB parades. So really, really cool. And this new panel, this IPS panel, I believe it's IPS, similar technology to an iPhone, is definitely easier to see outside in this type of weather. So the ability to be able to use this with something like the C100, but then also take the Connect off, which can do all your conversions and everything, and then just go straight to the Samurai if you're using a camera that's just HD SDI, is pretty fantastic and very, very cool. This thing is, I think, really, one of the things that's great about this is the price point. So I still haven't spent tremendous amounts of time with this as of yet, but I am so far very, very happy with it as far as how compact it is. At the moment, I have a spinning platter inside of here, a 750 gig drive. So that's going to give you a hell of a lot of recording time if you're recording in ProRes. And it's getting time code from the C100. There's also a recent firmware update with this guy, which allows you to do a conversion if you're using it with the 5D Mark III in terms of color space, so you can check that out. I guess I'll put a link for you guys over there so you can check out a little bit more about the Samurai Blade. And I'll be talking more about it because I'm going to be using it for some tests with actually the 1DC soon. The wind has held up pretty well, so I'm not going to take my chances any longer. I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to go back to doing some more tests with this stuff, and I'll see you guys next time on Gearbox.